G'day viewers, we are at the 90 mile straight. 90 mile straight. 146.6 kilometers of yawning. Continuously yawning. So with that in mind, it's time for another road chat. Let's talk about WA and how big it is, because it is huge. It's massive. Now I've driven this stretch so many times. I've just completed a 90 mile straight and it just occurred to me, well, I already knew it was huge. WA, it's the biggest state in the country, probably one of the biggest states in the world. I don't know other countries that might have a state or territory as big as WA or bigger. There probably is. I wouldn't be surprised. But just thinking more about it, and like three things happened. I went through the 90 mile straight. Boring as batshit, but it's worth doing. It's a bucket list drive. Straight after that, I got hit with a time zone, which I forgot about. 45-minute time zone. I'm still in WA. WA has multiple time zones, just in case you didn't know. It's crazy. It's bloody crazy. And then you keep going, and then there's another sign, and this sign says, beware of unfenced road for 340 kilometers with camel, cattle, and kangaroos. Another interesting fact is the kangaroos jump over the cattle. There's a sign coming up right now, you will see. It indicates that kangaroos jump over cattle. There you go. I reckon I would have got it. Did you get it? GoPro says yes, I got it. So they're just three small factors to tell you that WA is freaking huge. I don't know anywhere else in Australia, for that matter, that there will be a road sign saying 340 kilometers, look out for bloody camels, cows and kangaroos. That's nuts. But another interesting fact about WA, there are, a cruiser. Did the old cruiser wave? Yeah, mate. Anyway, so another interesting fact is wombats. There are no wombats in WA, and if there are, correct me if I'm wrong, but there are no wombats in WA. They start from South Australia onwards. So either there's something going on the border. Could be three possibilities. One, WA is too bloody big, too far to walk into. Two, WA is too bloody hot. And three, they're not allowing them over the border. Pick one of those. But going from Perth to the border town, it takes if you want to do it in a daytime, daytime driving, and you want to pull over when it's dark, you want to have all your breakfast and stuff around in the morning, it will probably take you 3 days to get from Perth to the border town. That's just doing that. I'm doing this in a day and a half. It's taking me a day and a half of constant driving, being brutal on myself, just getting to the border, and then I've still to go another 800 k's to Seduna in one day. Well, that's today. But so 2 days it will take me to get across that border. But that's the short way out of WA, is from Perth to the border. If you want to go from Perth to Kununurra, which is still in Western Australia, it's pretty close to the border at the top end, but that is roughly about, depending on which way you go, it's 3,200 kilometers, or just under. That is pretty much the same distance as it is from Perth to Sydney. So how freaking huge is WA? That is huge. WA is massive. Its own time zone, shitload of camels and cattle for 340 kilometers. And worst of all, if you drive it yourself for too long, you go insane. And you know what else? In WA, on our highways, we have landing strips for planes. Landing strips for planes. Well, it's actually for the Royal Flying Doctors Service. So if someone injures themselves on a remote property or something, they just get them to the highway, ring the Royal Flying Doctor on a satellite phone because there's no bloody reception out here, and then a plane will hopefully touch down on the road, and you just got to get your casualty to the road. Now, how cool is that? That's pretty cool. Have a cruiser. That is awesome. Another fact about WA being so freaking huge. You can be in the south, it'll be pissing down rain, be cold as shit, and then you can go to the top end and it could also be pissing down rain, but it'll be hot as shit. It'll be so hot, it'll be unbearably hot, it'll be humid. And then you got somewhere in the middle, which is Perth, which is windy as hell. Now, Perth is the third most windiest capital in the world. How's that? Perth is also the most remote capital city in the world. Perth is the most remote capital city in the world. It's a capital city in Western Australia. It's not a capital city in Australia. The capital in Australia, just in case you're an overseas viewer, is Canberra. It's not Sydney, it's not Melbourne, it's Canberra. Oh. What else do we know about Western Australia? Western Australians are known as sand gropers. And we also wear hoodies that are sleeveless with a hoodie. Sleeveless hoodies. People think it's weird, but when you live here for long enough, it's not really weird at all. That's just the Perth way. The sand groper way, the sand gropers. And I'm heading into crow eating territory. That's what they call South Australians. The crow eaters. Another fact for overseas viewers about Australia in general, and I'm going to end the video on this note. Australians abbreviate everything, every single thing. Even if someone's got a short name, they'll abbreviate it. They even abbreviate the name of Australia. Australia.